I never knew that I was going to have a great life in music. I really didn't. Everything that I've done has been just a great journey and a great gift. And each thing that happens, each concert that I get to play in Carnegie, that I get to play for kings and queens and go to the Far East and Australia several times, and all my great associations with today's composers has been it's been so great. And there's really not much I can complain about. It's just a great gift. I was so lucky to have the parents and the whole family that I have, because really it was just so nourishing. And my parents were wonderful musicians, but they didn't really encourage us to be musicians, really. I mean, they wanted us to be exposed to it, but I think they would have been just fine if we had found another calling. And I did try a couple of things, in my teen years when there was career day or whatever. I thought about being a forest ranger. I thought about being a psychologist. I thought about being a marimba player. That was fun times. But cello was always it. I started out on piano, but cello was that's where my heart was. It's hard because I never loved to practice. I like to practice a lot more now than I used to. I treasure 2-3 hours to sit down and really discover stuff on the cello. But back then it was just, there's so many things to do in life, and I was happy to do all those things. So I wasn't that focused as a youngster. Once I got to North Carolina School of the Arts, and then USC, I went to for 2 years, and then Peabody. I gradually got more focused and more serious. And it's funny, as a young musician, you don't really know if you got what it takes. You don't really know. And I knew that I loved playing cello, but I wasn't sure where I would end up. I knew I loved chamber music, and I dreamed of being in a string quartet. And that motivated me quite a lot. So when I got out of school, I thought I was going to be in a string quartet right away, and that fell apart right at the last minute. But I had taken an audition for the Houston Symphony just when I was home at Christmas time, and gotten it, but had turned it down. But called them back up. I said, is that position still open? And it was. And I learned a lot. I really learned a lot. And I also learned that it was maybe not the thing I wanted to do. So then I auditioned for the Chompy String Quartet, and that's when I also went audition for Marlboro. And that's when I really became very serious about chamber music. Marlboro changed my life. I just thought it was the greatest place ever. I met Jaime when I was at Peabody, but then I really got to know him at Marlboro. And he encouraged me to audition for Marlboro. So he's been so central to my adult development, and I've gotten to play with so many great musicians over the years. Just, you almost name it, and I've gotten to play with them. I do feel that I've learned more from my colleagues than I ever learned in school, for sure. I had wonderful teachers. Larry Lesser in particular was so important for me as an artist. It's been a great journey working with students. I have so enjoyed it, and it has really made me examine my own playing. And when I'm rehearsing, I'm my own teacher. We all have to be our own teacher. Just the voice of the cello is so satisfying and so rich, and such a range. I do love playing the cello, there's no doubt about that. And especially now that I have my new cello, it's a great joy, and what an honor. It's a real privilege to play that cello and to keep it safe and keep it well for the next person that gets to play it. It's in 5 years, it'll have its 300th birthday. We had summered here for so long, and the summers kept stretching into spring to fall, and then we just finally said to ourselves, we have to live here. It's such a nourishing place for the arts and for people who value the environment. The beauty of Vermont is just stunning, and the fact that there are no billboards is just, thank you. All the things to do here outside, fantastic. We hike, we kayak, we swim, we love to walk. It's just such a nourishing place to be, and I find that all my neighbors and the friends that we've made here are just central to our lives. And the fact that the Vermont Symphony has been such a big part, and the Brattleboro Music Center is such a big part of our lives here. We really feel very lucky that we are here to see that. Actually, I think there's a renaissance happening in Brattleboro and southern Vermont, and it's a beautiful thing to see and to be a part of.